Wow, new open song. Who is this? You know who we are. We are MMAfighting.com, and we are getting you ready for UFC Vancouver up in the Great White North. The main event, big one in the UFC's middleweight division. Reinier taking on Brendan Allen, and we're here to talk about that and all of the action coming your way tomorrow at UFC Vancouver. I am Mike Heck. Before I introduce my co-host, the accountability hand is up in the sky. A lot of you were expecting this show to start a little earlier. That's because I'm an idiot. I'm an absolute idiot, and I actually didn't schedule a time. I just let it go, and you guys are waiting and waiting. When's the show going to start? And then I realized like an hour and a half later that I didn't actually schedule a time. So hand is up, both hands up this time. But now that we're letting that go, all is forgiven, I hope. Joining me, and this is rarefied air because this doesn't happen all that often, because usually this guy is on the road. And as a matter of fact, in about 72 hours time, he'll be on the road to Abu Dhabi, our road warrior, the one and only social media guru, the all-time great in that department, Mr. José Youngs. Jose, how we doing, my friend?
I'm great, man. Probably less than 72 hours, honestly, because I have to leave Sunday in order to get there Tuesday, which is a logistical nightmare for a site that covers the news to be in the air for that long. So hopefully for anyone that has followed my journeys to and from Abu Dhabi over the last 4 years, fingers crossed, start your prayer circles that I get in this time, because I think every year for the last 3 years, I've run into issues at customs, whether it's, you know, camera gear they take away, or they hold me in a room and I just wait for someone. I have never in my life had a land and then you're off experience in Abu Dhabi or Dubai. So fingers crossed, start your prayer circles now. I need all the positive juju you can get.
Was it the last time, or was it 2 years ago that you were stuck there for like a while, like several hours?
So 3 times ago, I think that one was Charles and Islam. That is when getting there took forever, because my original flight because I was flying from Phoenix, my flight to Phoenix from Phoenix to Chicago got canceled the morning of the flight. So they put me on a new flight. So it was supposed to be Phoenix to Vegas, Vegas to Chicago, Chicago to Abu Dhabi. And I was supposed to so I was going to have the same flight from Chicago to Abu Dhabi as my original one. But then I landed in Vegas, and then my plane in Vegas had issues. So they canceled the whole flight and put me on a flight the next day. And then when I landed, they put me in a room and took away all my camera gear for 48 hours. So I did all of media day without a camera. And that was also, I landed Wednesday morning and media day was Wednesday morning.
What a fun time.
So, and then last year was just a matter of I had to wait in line, because I'm not the only one going through customs. Other people are too. And other people there was one person at the desk and like 70 people in line. So I was just waiting to get through. So hopefully nothing like that happens again.
The travel nightmares of Jose Young. You need to write a memoir about
nothing bad has happened this year.
Knocking on wood. We are knocking on wood. But look, we are coming off of we had UFC 320 not that long ago. We had UFC Rio last week, which was kind of a weird-ass event overall, but it ended in a big way with Charles Oliveira, and now we're off to Vancouver. We're supposed to get Reinier versus Anthony Hernandez, which was one of my more anticipated fights of the year. Unfortunately, Anthony Hernandez injured. He is out of the fight. So in steps one Brendan Allen to take this massive opportunity coming off a win in New Orleans against Marvin Vettori. And ever since Khamzat Chimaev won the belt, Jose, it's been all about, well, who's he going to fight now? And Nasruddin Imavov did his job, dominates Caio Borralho, wins a unanimous decision. And in a meritocratic society that we live in, that would be the fight. It would be Nasruddin Imavov versus Khamzat Chimaev. But I think more people would guess that Reinier is the more, I guess, quote unquote, exciting option for Khamzat Chimaev. But now he's fighting Brendan Allen, not Anthony Hernandez. So Is Reinier to Ritter, what would you rate his chances right now that if he wins tomorrow, he's fighting Khamzat Chimaev next?
If he submits Brendan Allen, probably much higher than I am right now. Right now, I think Imavov he should already be the title. They should already have his fight like booked. Whether they have announced the fight is one thing, but I know Dana White said this most recent time at the Contender Series, someone asked him about like matchups, and specifically this one, like, could the winner leapfrog Imavov for Khamzat? And Dana was like, we haven't really booked anything, but we have been speaking about Khamzat's next fight. So at least that conversation is happening behind the scenes. Who it will be, I don't know. Obviously, I think, like I said, Imavov is probably slightly ahead, but if RDR goes out there and submits Brendan Allen also like early or finishes him like he did against Bo Nickel or Kevin Holland, or even stops him if it's a sloppy fight and he submits him in a weird fight like he did against Gerald, he definitely closes the gap. But maybe I'm just like looking at this through rose-colored glasses for Imavov, and I think he's already done enough, but we all know the UFC doesn't operate like that. If RDR wins and then goes out there and cuts this wicked promo, then why not? Just throw him in there. Who cares?
Yeah, I felt coming out of the Imavov fight, as impressive as the win was, it just wasn't going to oversee what RDR and Fluffy were going to do. Like, they were just going to beat the hell out of each other for 25 minutes. It was going to be a more like exciting fight, a more aesthetically pleasing fight to watch, as opposed to Nasruddin just kind of picking apart Kaio for the majority of that fight. And a lot of people push back against sort of the UFC's modern ideal of matchmaking these days.
Yeah.
Let's give the fans the fights they want, as opposed to the guy that deserves it always gets the shot. So I feel like Nasruddin Imavov got a gift.
Yeah.
With Anthony Hernandez getting injured. I feel like unless Brendan Allen just does something insane, I don't even know if like just a straight up RDR submission win does it. I think he's going to do like a submission or knockout of the year type scenario where it's just Lerone Murphy style. And even then, Lerone Murphy might not even get a featherweight title shot.
Yeah. Did you see Lerone's tweets the other day, or was it earlier today? So like stuff doesn't matter and nothing makes sense. This is UFC, so I'm not again, like, we can have all these conversations we want, but like Gustafsson got a title shot off a loss. Like, he got knocked dead and then got a title shot. Like, Umar could win one fight and then walk right into another rematch with Merab. It really doesn't matter what anyone has to say.
Basically, it comes down to when is Khamzat ready to fight
and who's available.
Yeah, exactly. The first one who picks up the phone and says, yeah, I'm in, that's who's getting the fight.
That's right.
So definitely a better spot for Nasruddin Imavov, but sort of forgotten in all of this conversation, Jose, is Brendan Allen, the man who is stepping in here. I feel like he is maybe the most overlooked guy competing in a main event this year, because the betting odds are actually a little closer than I thought they would be, but not a lot of people are giving Brendan Allen a chance to win this fight, despite being a veteran, despite having some good wins on his resume, and despite winning his last two fights and beating Marvin Vettori, fight of the night type performance as well. Why is Brendan Allen being so overlooked here, Jose, in your opinion?
I think it's because he's, of all the guys that we've been talking about, Brendan Allen's lost to two of them, Fluffy Hernandez and Imavov. He's already lost to them. They weren't exactly barn burner fights. Like, he just got, it wasn't a domination. He just lost. I think that's very clearly it, right? Like, if you lose to two of the three guys that we're having these conversations with, who deserves the next title shot, and then the only other losses you have are the former champion Sean Strickland, and like, I think that was your first UFC loss, and then getting stopped by Chris Curtis in their first fight. Like, I would, the path to victory the blueprint might be there. I think RDR's win over Robert Whittaker is, I don't know if you would agree with this, but that fight is a bigger win than anything Brendan Allen's done in the UFC.
I would agree with that.
So that's probably why. And do I agree with the matchmakers? I think it should be close. I don't know what the odds are, but I'm going to say it should probably be closer than it is. Brendan Allen is very good, and he doesn't, especially lately, get blown away. I know the rematch with Chris was weird, and that was a close fight, and then he dropped back to back. But Brendan Allen's very good fist fighter, and he's how many fights does he have? 30 something, 32, 33. He has more fights than years on this earth. Like, that's hard to come by for someone that's under 30 years old. So, I'm excited. Good fight. Brendan Allen's very good. RDR, I think, is like, we've seen this a million times. RDR is just, I'm not calling him the flavor of the month because he's been very good for a long time, but he has all the momentum going into this.
And he's doing the thing that Jed and I have been talking about for years. It's there will never be another like Conor McGregor. We're not gonna have like a flat out crossover superstar ever again. The UFC, it's just not going to get to that point. But to get over with the fan base, the most important thing is fight. It's just fight a lot. And Reinier de Ridder now fighting for the 4th time this year. That'll get you over the fan base.
Who's the most popular fighters are like Max Holloway. Dude just fights everybody. Like even when he lost to Volk the 3rd time or 2nd time, he's like, all right, I'll just keep fighting. Charles Oliveira will fight whoever. Tony Ferguson fight whoever. Merab. I mean, he was booed. He was the biggest villain in MMA after he beat José Aldo. And now he's probably one of the 5 most popular fighters on the roster. One of the most popular. And like, look at Ilya. Ilya should be very popular, but the fact that he's like, no, I don't want to fight that guy. Like, it sours the fans. Like, Pereira, just fight. It's why Tom is popular. It's why all these guys are popular.
Kevin
the
Holland.
The only one that it hasn't worked out for is the guy fighting next week in Mario Bautista.
Hey, who knows? He goes out and beats Umar.
He beats Umar. He is going to be a superstar. I'm sorry, Mario. You might be a superstar. I know he doesn't particularly like the spotlight.
Yeah, but you're gonna need that spotlight if you want to fight Merab. Although Merab will probably call for that fight. Merab believes 100% in meritocracy.
100%.
He thought Mario Bautista deserved the title shot before Umar did in January.
100%. Like that'll be a fun little scrap. Well, and we're talking like Merab still has to beat Petr Yan. I know he did it once, but Petr Yan is very good.
And he's doing it on less than 2 months' notice from his last fight.
Insane.
He's a freak, dude.
That's before we get in, I have to ask if Merab does it, this has to be in the conversation with like John Jones 2011 and Shogun 2005, right? For Merab's year, like the 1 calendar year.
I think it's.
I'm not saying it will surpass, because John's 2011 is like the greatest year in UFC history. Like Bader, and then Shogun, Machida, Rampage, and I think Rashad, was that it? It was like he went 5-0 or something crazy like that.
Yeah.
And then Shogun had that crazy run in Pride. I mean,
2005 is going to be real tough. That Shogun run is absolutely ridiculous.
I think that's the greatest year ever. The greatest year in UFC history, I think, is John's 2011. Merab's is going to be tough.
It's right up there, man. 4 title defenses in 1 year.
At least top 5.
Yeah. Beating the Umar win, especially with him, there's no doubt about it. He was like nowhere near 100%.
He was dead.
Yeah. He was injured. He was beat up. Like he had nothing for that fight, and he still won. And then what he did to O'Malley, and then the Sandhagen performance, I thought was so impressive.
Yeah.
And yeah, if he goes out and beats Jan, it's definitely in the mix. It's definitely in the mix. But who knows? Reinier de Ridder trying to put his name. He's not going to win Fighter of the Year, but perhaps he could put himself in a good spot, maybe in the top 5, the top 10, if he can improve to 4-0 in 2025. Taking on Brendan Allen, he's a -205 favorite to do so, according to our friends at FanDuel. The comeback on Brendan Allen, +164. Interesting fight to call. It's tough because I think this. Going into the X's and O's of this fight, there's really not a lot here. Can Brennan deal with the physicality of Reinier de Ridder? Skill for skill, it's actually really interesting. But Reinier's just he's so big. He's so big and massive in this division. We've seen the clinch game and all that stuff. So it's kind of, can Brennan avoid the damage in the clinch, and can he avoid staying off of his back for long periods of time? I think that's the big question in this fight. But when it's all said and done, and we're about to jump on the post-fight show, what is the topic of conversation? We talking a Reinier de Ridder? Is he next for Khamzat? Or, wow, Brendan Allen just beat RDR. What are we doing now?
I don't think either. I think we're going to talk about RDR getting the win over Brendan Allen. That's my official prediction. Brendan Allen is just very good at, like, even when he loses, like outside of like his early, like lately, like I said, his losses are not like, he's not getting melted or the doors blown off. They're just like back and forth grindy fights. And I think RDR, that's his bread and butter. I don't think RDR is going to get submitted, because he doesn't lose unless he fights like a giant juiced up heavyweight in one championship at this point. I just think this has all the makings for a slow back and forth middleweighty fight. And I think that's RDR's specialty, because I don't think Brendan Allen nearly has the blitz or the striking pedigree of Robert Whittaker. And that was a fun fight. Brendan Allen's very clearly like a bigger, physically more gifted middleweight than Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland is a supremely talented fighter. I just, Brendan Allen submitted Kevin, right? It wasn't the other way around. That was in Boston.
That was in Boston. That was like 4 years, or that was what, 2019? That was 6 years ago to the day, I believe that happened.
What, that was like the first. That was when you did the preview show with me, and
that's right.
The tripod broke because the wind blew it away.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, now it's all coming back. So yeah, I mean, I think just all what these guys bring to the table. I think this is like a perfect storm for RDR to just win, but not win in dramatic, violent fashion. Because Brendan Allen's better than Bo Nickal, so he's not going to just eat a knee to the sternum and get melted. And I don't think he has the striking pedigree of Robert Whittaker to make this a crazy war on the feet like Robert Whittaker did. And I think RDR will win, but I don't think he's going to do enough to leapfrog Imavov.
I actually, I don't know what this fight's going to look like.
It's going to be a weird one.
I think it's going to be incredibly fun. I think Brennan's just going to kind of get after it here. I think he's just going to kind of go for it because
might as well.
A win is huge, but I think he wants to go out there. I mean, seeing the fight with Marvin Vettori, like he did something that very few people can do. He made Marvin Vettori fun, and so he is capable of being very, very fun in there. He had the great fight with Chris Curtis. So like,
yeah,
he's had like fight of the year type fights, like top 10, 15 fights of the year. Like this is not something we mentioned when it came to Brendan Allen over the last few years, but recently he's getting more fun. He's enjoying the striking aspect a little bit more, and he's getting into scraps. And I think we're going to get something really similar here. I think RDR gets a finish. I think it's late, but it's going to be a dogfight. And I think it's just because RDR has just been preparing longer. It's just going to be kind of one of those situations where Brennan just gives it his all. And I think it's maybe the clinches and the weight, the size of RDR, the annoying aspects he brings to the table. I think it's going to eventually wear on Brendan, and Brendan's just going to be like, I didn't hear no bell. And then he's going to get a knee to the sternum, and then RDR is going to tap him around round 4, something like that. But it's going to be fun as shit.
Yeah.
Until that happens. Co-main event, we have Kevin Holland making his 5th appearance of 2025. The dude is just absolutely insane, taking on Mike Malott. And that is a really interesting fight, Jose. Mike Malott, who coming off of a good win over Chuck Buffalo, finished him, much to the delight of the Canadian fans back at UFC 315 in May. Kevin Holland coming off that insane fight with Daniel Rodriguez not that long ago.
Yeah.
Betting lines are very, very close here. But yeah, thoughts on that fight? And, one of the things Kevin Holland has been sort of continued to say throughout the build of this fight, besides thinking Mike Malott was Jake Matthews up until the Jake Matthews-Neil Magny controversy, was Mike just hasn't fought the dudes that I have fought or that I have lost to. And maybe he's biting off a little more than he can chew there. Your thoughts on this fight and Kevin's comments?
I mean, I certainly agree with him in the sense that Mike Malott has not faced anyone. Well, I guess, Neil Magny obviously has the most wins in like UFC welterweight history, but he hasn't fought anyone on the same level as Kevin that Kevin has fought. Like even Daniel is like, is Daniel Rodriguez the Daniel Rodriguez fight for Kevin Holland, that might be a bigger name than anyone that Mike Malott has faced in the UFC, and Kevin lost. I don't know what to expect in this because a lot of the guys that Mike fight, because Mike is just such a nice dude. Like you cannot face him. He's such a nice dude. And he's like that. This is going to sound like strange because they're all professional athletes, but like Mike Malott is a professional, like emphasized professional athlete. He knows how to deal with the media. If you watch like a media scrum from like an NFL or MLB or NHL player, like that's how Mike talks. Like he talks like he grew up in a locker room. And nothing bothers him. Like I remember when the Charles Radke fight, Charles Radke and Chuck Buffalo was like really trying to push that Canada versus US narrative, and Mike just didn't care. He's like, whatever, like whatever gets the fans going. Like most people would feed into that, and Mike's like, it's whatever. And then he knocked him out and shook his hand, and then that was a wrap. Kevin is obviously the guy that'll talk that shit. I don't think Mike is gonna fall for it, but I just don't know what we have with Mike in there against a guy of Kevin's caliber. I really think this matchup is amazing right now. Because like Kevin says, Kevin has fought everybody, every style of fight, middleweight and welterweight. And I have questions about Mike's ability. Everything I've heard, like from guys at Alpha Male, especially Andre Feely, say that in camp, Mike is the best fighter, one of the best fighters they have ever trained with. Obviously, we've heard that story with other people. It doesn't always translate into a fight. But I trust that, his abilities are there. Kevin's victory, the way he lost to Neil Magny, that is still fresh in my mind. I'm talking about Mike Malott, because Mike beat Neil Magny close to death and still lost. I don't think Kevin's the type of guy that will take a beating close to death. I think Kevin, we've seen him knock out middleweights. We've seen him submit incredibly talented guys. Can Mike do that? Probably. But I've seen Kevin win in crazier fights against crazier opponents. So I always lean on the guy that I have more tape of doing things. So I favor Kevin in this one. I really do. But Mike is amazing. I think Mike is so good. And I'm glad this is happening now. I have a lot of questions about Mike's abilities in there. And Kevin has seen everything. I think we're going to get a lot of answers to a lot of questions after this fight.
Yeah, the Mike Malott story is pretty fascinating. So I remember doing interviews with like Garbrandt back in the day, and even Faber and like Josh Emmett before he was in the UFC, and they talked about how good Mike Malott is, but you'll never know because he doesn't fight. He just coaches in corners. And he took like 3 years off from competing, and then just comes back and has one fight and beat a really good dude. Solomon Renfro is like a good damn fighter, especially back in like 2019, 2020. And then gets the Contender Series spot, and now the focus is on his fighting career. But he's so knowledgeable, and you're right. It's like he's seen Bull Durham 800 times, and he's taking the advice on the bus from Kevin Costner's character. It's pretty wild how media savvy he is. And I like the matchmaking as well, because if you're gonna do something with Mike, you have to do it now. But that's what makes sort of the Malott tale a little more wild is Mike's 33. Like he ain't 25.
Mike Malott is older than Brendan Allen.
I know. It's crazy. It's crazy. He has like half the fights. So big opportunity for Mike Malott. They're trying to strap the rockets to him because you could tell they want to go to Canada more. They want to get there at least twice a year, and they want to make sure Mike's on that card. And if they could put him in big spots, you beat Kevin Holland, that's going to certainly help get you there. So I don't know if he does it.
Kevin is so good.
He is so athletic. And like when Kevin's on, he is
great.
He is a MFer in there. He is really, really tough. So I'm leaning Kevin just based on the level of competition. And if there's like the betting lines here are so close, like Malott's a slight favorite, -120, Holland's -102. It's basically a coin flip fight. And when I see odds like that and I look at a coin flip, I will veer to the guy who has more experience. So I say Holland wins, but it would not shock me if Mike Malott went in there and got the biggest win of his career.
It's crazy that Mike Malott fought Hakeem Dawodu at one point in their careers. I like featherweight.
It's crazy, dude.
Mike Malott, pound for pound, the toughest Harry Potter fan I've ever met too. Like hardcore Harry Potter fan.
I bet he was missing you in media day.
Was it bad?
I didn't watch it, but
I don't know, man. Because
I around the room for you.
I don't know, because I interviewed him about Harry Potter, and it was like one of the best interviews I've ever had. And I went in there, I didn't give him a heads up because one of our mutual friends messages me and goes, I messaged them. I go, I'm about to interview Mike. Is there anything I should know? And they respond with Harry Potter, period. And I go, what does that mean? They go, no response. I'm like, all right. So I go, Mike, do you like Harry Potter? And the professionalism in Mike, it just turned off. And he was like a kid in a candy store.
It's awesome.
And then media day, he turned it back on. I was like, oh man, where'd the fun, goofy guy go?
He's hilarious. Like the one time he kind of lost it a little bit, and you were there too. It was after his UFC debut when he knocked out Mickey Gall, and he was like super emotional.
Oh yeah.
And there's a lot going on too. One of his coaches.
That's when he donated his bonus, right?
Yeah, he donated his bonus, and yeah, it was pretty awesome. But great fight there. Chito Vera against Aiemann Zahabi. That's a really interesting fight as well.
Sick fight.
Manon Fiorot, Jasmine Jasudavicius. That's a big one. I mean, those top 4 fights are all really good, Jose. They're really, really good.
If Jasmine wins, she has to be on. Like the issue is we're getting like this Valentina Weili fight, and that's not an issue because that fight rules. Yeah. If Weili wins, they'll probably do the rematch, right? Like if Weili beats Valentina, there's a world where they just run it right back.
Depends on how it goes.
Right.
Like if Weili just dices her up in 3 minutes, which it would be the most stunning thing I've ever seen.
Right. But if she catches her, if it's back and forth and it's like the Alexa fight, like Valentina is such a superstar that they might just run it back right away on like International Fight Week or maybe they go to Asia for a big fight. But in a world where Valentina is not already booked, like how many wins does Jasmine have in a row? 5, 6, and like
not a good run right now.
Like she's beaten Mayra Bueno Silva, former title contender at bantamweight, correct? And a fight that was a weird one. And she's beaten Jessica Andrade, who is like, we all agree is one of the greatest female fighters ever, on the short list. And who's the only person she lost to? Tracy. And even then, that was like
lost Natty Ice too.
Oh, Natty Ice. Ooh, I wouldn't. Ooh.
Natty Ice kind of thumped her up too.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's in a tough spot, man. Like she
really is.
The stakes are very high. It keeps her in a good spot because you got Blanchfield there too. She's fighting Tracy. Macy Barber's there. She's getting ready to fight in December, I believe. So this is
dude.
Jasmine's kicking off this sort of flyweight Grand Prix right now of like who does it best.
That's true. Because if she wins, there could be some rematches down the road against Tracy and Natty Ice. Blanchfield is still doing the thing. Macy, and because I still want to see Macy and Aaron fight just for the bad blood. But man,
and again, great matchmaking because if we're gonna run with Jasavicius, you got to do it now because again, only 17 pro fights. A lot of those were early because she's like a true natural of the sport. And I talked to her when she was an amateur, and she was telling me about how she got into. She's 30. She'd be 37 in March. Yeah. So like clock's ticking. You got to make a run. Real interesting fight. Let's see if she can match the. I look at that fight very similar to the RDR Brendan Allen fight. Can she match the physicality of Manon Fiorot? Which is not easy to do.
Manon's a tall, physical flyweight.
Yeah, she's a monster. So we'll see how Manon bounces back from the Valentina loss, which is very, very competitive. Rest of the main card, we got Cody Gibson, Richie Lang, Kyle Nelson versus Matt Frivola. I forgot that fight even existed. Honestly.
Sick fight.
Yep. And Nelson obviously moving up to 145. Featured prelim, Charles Jourdain versus Davey Grant. That's a fun one. Bruno Silva versus Hyun Sung Park. Park coming off of the first loss of his career to Tetsuro Taira, who's about to fight Brandon Moreno. No shame in that. Danny Barlow, Jordan Santos, Kylo Prepelec versus Drew Dober. Stephanie Luciano versus Ravina Oliveira. Azamat Bakayev versus Yusri Belgoroy. I can never pronounce his name, but the face-off between those two is going to be spectacular because Yusri is like 7 inches taller.
Yeah.
Asma, it's going to be incredible. And then Melissa Croden and Tainara Lisboa will kick off the action. So of the fights I just read off, Jose, what's the low-key gotta see it fight?
I mean, any fight Davey Grant is immediate. Like what's our fight of the night? What can we get? If there was like odds for like who's gonna get a bonus, like the second Davey Grant's name is on a card, like, oh well, shit, like he's clear, like it's clearly Davey Grant, Charles Jourdain on the prelims. If you're gonna watch one fight, like it might not mean anything in terms of ranking, but like that fight is gonna slap. Charles Jourdain is a maniac, and Davey Grant is that rare combination of. Have you ever interviewed Davey?
Oh yeah,
nicest dude. Like
I was in Tampa after his last win, and
that's right.
Yeah, he was.
I sat not next to him, but it was like me. It was like I went to see the Smash Machine in Vegas, and the UFC like booked the theater, so like Bader was there with like Coleman and everyone, and then they did like a Q&A, and I was sitting with the media, and like Davey Grant sat with us because he was just chilling. So it's got to be him. Davey Grant is sick. I wish he fought more. I know he fights like once, twice a year, but I feel like he has wins over a lot of guys that are no longer fighting anymore. And I just wish he fought more. But yeah, it's got to be Davey Grant, Charles Jourdain. Charles Jourdain is a psycho, both in and out of the octagon. And I'm glad he gets to fight in Canada because he missed out on the Montreal card, which was insane not to put him on that card. There's like very few what is it? What are people from Quebec called? Quebecers? Quebecians?
Quebecers, yeah.
Quebecers. Very few of them in the UFC. Might as well stick the big names on there. So it's got to be Charles. Charles Davies going to rule.
That's a great fight. And I love the flyweight fight right before it, too.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, just it's Park is so exciting because there are a lot of people who thought he could go in there and upset Tetsuro Taira.
Oh, yeah.
And he just got run the F over. He's very fun, finishes dudes. And then we got Bruno Silva, who got off to like such a great start in the UFC. He was just finishing everybody. 4 straight finishes. People thought he'd be a title contender. And then the aforementioned Tampa card goes out there and just, he got Manel copped. Like the Manel cop we've been waiting for since he came to the UFC, showed up in Tampa that night and just whooped him all over the place. It was the best performance of Copp's UFC career for sure. And then you lose to Josh Van, so you get finished in back-to-back fights. Now he takes a little bit of a step back, but against a supremely talented guy who you get 2 finishers, 2 guys who can get got too. That's going to be a very, very fun fight. So
yeah.
I think it's going to be a fun one. I think
it's a fun little card.
Maybe skip the first 3 or 4 fights, and then I think we're off to the races.
Do you think Drew Dober is fighting for a pink slip?
No.
I mean,
how many has he lost in a row?
3, but he's lost 4 or 5, so this would make it 5 of 6.
I still think there's value to his name.
Me too. I just think, also like he has almost 30, I'm assuming 30 wins, close to 20 losses.
It's 27-15.
Yeah, he's like the kinder Jeremy Stevens.
Yeah. But dude, his losses are, Matt Frivola, which Frivola's on a fire at the time, decision to Moicano, John Silva, who finishes everybody, and Manuel Torres.
And the Manuel Torres fight was a weird stoppage.
Yeah.
Like that was a weird stoppage. And the John Silva fight was a doctor stoppage, correct? Was it a cut or something?
Yeah.
Because he went out, and that was also a lightweight when John was just a maniac too. Well, he's always a maniac. Yeah. The Frivola one caught me off guard.
Yeah.
Because also it felt like those two were fighting to fight Patty, and neither one was ever going to fight Patty.
And neither one of them will ever fight Patty at this point. So, yeah, look, Drew Dober seems like a very sincere, honest gentleman.
Love that guy.
And I kind of feel like if he loses to Kyle Prepolek, that he might just look himself in the mirror and be like, okay, what can I do? What else can I do here? What else can I accomplish here? I think this is a spot. Look, you get Kyle on the card. It's great. Let me look at the betting odds for that. I'm kind of curious what it looks like, but this should be a fight Drew Dober wins. Oh, he's a huge favorite. He's almost a -500 favorite.
You have because this is Prepolek's first actual return to the UFC.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not Benoit Saint-Denis on 72 hours notice. No. What a friggin' nightmare situation that is. So, all right, let's go to the peeps. Let's see what you guys want to talk about heading into UFC Vancouver. We'll stick around for 15 or so minutes, and yeah. A lot of RDR fans in the comments. Given Jalin Turner's reason for retiring, I don't know what to think about him coming back. Yes, I confirmed earlier today with his management that the rumor, the innuendo of a Jalin Turner comeback after a long, lengthy, reflective retirement of 7 months is apparently over. So, yeah, Jalin Turner is coming back. As of now, I have asked, but I've not received word on if Jalin Turner is going to return as a lightweight or if he's going to return as a welterweight. I kind of hope it's the latter, if we're being honest, but we shall see. But yeah, it looks like Jalin Turner is on his way back to the octagon, and yeah, pretty exciting guy. And, sometimes you just need to take a step back and some time away and think about other stuff. And seems like he's found religion and is really dove deep into that and seems to be in a great place. So yeah. Love that.
I'm glad he's back. He's a very fun fighter.
I've
always wanted one of my dream video things that I ever done is I want to go play skate against Jalin. Skate is like horse, but on a skateboard. You spell skate. Oh. So he lands a trick, I have to land a trick. He would absolutely smoke me. But I think it would be very fun time. So because my bag of tricks is I haven't skated like that in probably 10 years. I would legit, this is not hyperbole. If Jalin and I did a game of skate, I would go into training camp. I would have a skateboard in training camp. I'm so rusty. I tried to kickflip the other day and I was like, oh I am 34. My knees are not 20 anymore.
Yeah, I wouldn't even want to try that at this point. My skateboarding skills are put 2 feet on the board and someone has to lightly push me down the street.
I would go into training camp and probably come up with some sort of bag of tricks, and then Jalin could just show up and just cook me.
That would be.
I could start SKAT. I could give him a window, and he would still beat me. He's like he's professional level good.
Yeah, that'd be really fun. Maybe next time, like they send us on the road together and Jalen's on the car.
I've pitched it to his face, or
you would do it in a second.
We've talked about it because Juliana Rose is also very good.
Oh, really?
And I was like, you guys should have a game of skate, and I can be like the judge.
Ooh, because
you guys are both much better than me. So like, I just want to watch it. Peyton Talbot's also very good.
That doesn't surprise me. Peyton seems like a guy who'd be a very good skateboarder. Joseph, Khamzat did an interview saying he wants to go up to light heavyweight to take on Alex Pereira. It feels like Khamzat doesn't want to defend at 185. Do we know if he's managed by Ali? He's not managed by Ali. How does Khamzat going up to 205 impact?
He's not
going up to 205.
Not anytime soon, anyway.
Dricus du Plessis laid it out perfectly. And I'm not even talking about he has no chance of beating Pereira thing. It's all hype and it's not going to happen. Yeah. Why? Like, he's not going to do that. And Pereira's not gonna hang on to the title to fight Khamzat. Like, that's a big fight, but like, go fight John Jones at the White House, dude. Like, that's way bigger and just way better experience for him at this point.
Go fight Carlos Ulberg.
Yeah, well, we know that's not gonna happen. No. So we do Yuri versus Ulberg for the vacant belt, and Alex can just do big money fights, and he can call it a day. You've probably gotten this one before. José, have you read all those books in your background Nike's collection?
Yeah, I think I've read 99% of them. There's some, because these are all the books that I'm currently reading. They're next to me. So they're not on the shelf. Actually, no, I've already read this one. What is it? WE3. I finished this one. Or We3. All the rest I'm presently reading. Have I read? Is there anything else on this wall I haven't read? No, I think no. If there are probably a few that I've half read. I'm like, this is not a good comic book, and I've given up on it. But I'll go back to it eventually. But yes, I would say 99% of them. There's also a few. Last thing on this, I have like 3 copies of Mouse. So like, there are some books I have 3 different versions of on here.
That's a collection.
It's a big certainly is. Spent too much money on it.
Jed in the house. What's up, Jed?
I thought Jed was on vacation or something.
Oh, he's back.
Oh,
no, he's back. He's actually working the desk right now. I was like, hey,
nice.
Jed will be on both the post-fight show and the Q&A tomorrow. So you'll get plenty of Jed over the next 24 to 48 hours. Don't you worry.
I am on desk. That's very funny.
Yeah, he's in that point. Master Universe Classic has been asking this question quite a bit. Fun challenge. I think this is more for you, Jose, since you have the elephant's brain of MMA knowledge. Name some MMA fighters who transitioned well from other pro sports, e.g. Greg Hardy, Eric Anders.
Those are both very good ones. Well,
I'm saying Walker?
Like, yeah.
He also did it when he was like 50.
Yeah,
so,
and he fought guys at his level. Like,
yeah.
And it was Strikeforce. That was like such a golden era of Strikeforce too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like others, so non-combat sports.
Yeah.
So like no Wonder Boy, no Gokhan Saki, anything. I mean, Greg Hardy and Eric Anders has a national championship.
Yeah. He was
coached with Nick Saban and good.
Yeah.
He
had a sack in the national championship too. Yeah. Anders was legit.
Obviously, like Matt Mitrione, was he practice squad?
Yeah, Brennan Schaub was.
I don't know if he ever made a practice squad though. Brennan was like played to college, right?
Yeah, I thought he was. I thought someone.
I don't know.
He had a cup of coffee there. Oh God, what's his name? Oh no, what's his name? Josh Hokett.
Yeah.
Josh Hokett was on the 49ers. He probably would have been like, and if COVID didn't exist, he probably would have made a team based on how good he was. But yeah, once that happened, he realized I could just tackle people and say a bunch of weird shit on television. So yeah, he's doing that.
Who's the Waldo Cortez Acosta was a professional baseball player.
Oh, that's right. Great shout.
Who's the guy that Greg Hardy beat to get into the NFL? I mean, into the NFL.
Austin Lane.
Austin Lane.
That's
Marcus Jones.
Yep.
Tough alum. Wes Shivers, I think, played on the Falcons. That's like late 90s. Herschel Walker, we said.
Yeah, it's mostly football players.
Yeah, because
who's the basketball player who tried it? Who tried? I know we watched his first fight for, I think it was for LFA. And then I don't think he ever fought again.
I don't know.
God, I don't
Is it the crazy one?
Yes.
I have his face in my brain.
Me too.
He's the one that didn't like to fly?
Yes. That's that exact individual. God, what's his name? What's his name? Royce White.
Oh, that's right.
Royce White. I cheated. I'm not going to lie. I absolutely cheated.
Was he MMA? I know he's thinking about doing kickboxing.
No, he fought in LFA. I think he just had one fight.
And then he went a little
lost,
nuts.
I believe.
He went a little crazy. Well, he was already crazy, but what happened? I saw someone challenged him on Twitter over one of his ideologies because he has some strange takes on life. So someone pushed back, and then they got in this argument, and someone commented, "I bet you won't get on a plane and fly and say that to my face." And everyone was like, it just roasted him because he's afraid of flying, obviously.
Oh, God.
But it's all NFL players. And it's all heavyweights. But I'm not I kind of count wrestling as a combat sport because Daniel Cormier, Brock Lesnar.
I mean,
Ronda Rousey.
He technically played preseason for the Vikings.
Gable Steveson.
Who technically
Bills.
Around and played with the Bills, yeah.
So all those guys, I guess.
Yeah. Gable's coming.
There's been no this guy's a Pro Bowler. I guess Greg Hardy. Greg Hardy was very good in the NFL. He was very, very good. He was say what you want about how everything that got him out of the NFL. Dude was very, very talented NFL.
Oh, Volkanovski, the rugby man. Great call.
That's right. That's right. But yeah, there's probably a bunch of rugby guys too that we just don't know of.
Is there a very famous soccer player who signed with PFL and would probably never fight for him?
Probably not. Yeah, I can't remember.
That was a big deal too.
Yeah.
Shows how much I watch soccer at this point. So
yeah, but there's been no Pro Bowler, MLB All-Star or anything like that.
Yeah, David Ortiz did not transition to the UFC.
Imagine there's a guy who's a phenom that had a burst and then tailed off. So we still got them in their physical prime in the UFC. There was no Payne Hillis didn't all of a sudden go from being on the cover of Madden to fighting in the UFC. If that's a name that people know.
Yeah, we most of the well-known athletes that transitioned to combat sports went to boxing and it was way past their athletic prime, Frank Gore and who the hell did he fight?
Deron Williams.
Yeah. I was there for that classic. That was actually a really fun
From
fight.
everything I've heard, Darko Milicic is very good at kickboxing.
I believe that.
So is Tim Duncan.
Yeah, apparently Joe Mazzulla is very good at Brazilian
Jiu-Jitsu. Dude, here's a good story. You'll appreciate this. So Joe Mazzulla was cage side in Chicago for the Khamzat card from the first fight. He was there for the first prelim. And no one's there, obviously, because it's the first prelim. And he's sitting next to media row, feet. So I go out for the first fight because obviously there haven't been scrums yet. So I watched the first fight and I go, I can't not say hello to this gentleman. So I was like, Joe. And he looked over because Joe Mazzulla's from Rhode Island.
Yeah.
And I go, Joe, from one Rhode Island to another, all the respect. And then he comes over, he gets up to shake my hand. And I go, because he went to Bishop Hendricken High School, which is in my city. And that's the private school in my city. So I went to the public school, Pilgrim High School, and he went to Bishop Hendricken. And they cooked us in basketball every year because they get people from all over the state to go, and we're just the public school. And I go, I went to Pilgrim. You guys cooked us. I go, I went to Pilgrim. He goes, I'm so sorry. And then I was like, damn, man, Joe Mazzulla just roasted me to my face. And I immediately text all my buddies from high school that Joe Mazzulla just low-key shit on us all.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's an interview I want to get. I'm working on that. I've been working on it for months.
He's great.
Would love to just bring him on and just talk some fist fighting with that guy. No doubt about it. Oh, there we go. Patrice Evra. That's the name. That was the one. Oh, Jose Canseco. That's a great one.
Did he fight though? Because remember that whole thing's like his twin brother fought in his place on Rough and Rowdy.
No, I think he had an MMA fight.
Probably.
He fought Hongman Choi at Dream 9.
Oh, of course they did.
Finished in a minute 17. Oh, there's one other one too. He fought. So before I came to MMA Fighting, I was on the radio in the Berkshires, and I guess like one of the more like famous outside of like Elizabeth Banks. The other like sort of interesting celebrity is a guy by the name of Todd Polton, who is a boxer, but he's mostly a celebrity boxer. He boxed Jose Canseco.
Of course he did.
And yeah, that's a thing that happened. He also boxed Brutus the Barber Beefcake.
Love that.
And Brutus Barber Beefcake tore his ACL in the fight.
Love that.
Pretty wild shit. Yeah. So Canseco does have some mixed martial arts experience, although it's a little over a minute. So what a time. Any other fun questions, ladies and gentlemen? Let's see. Let's go back through. See if we got anything. A lot of people just talking about the different sports and athletes. Here's an interesting question. If Aiemann Zahabi wins, would he be the most unlikely future title challenger in UFC history? I know he has won 6 in a row.
Unlikely? Like, who's an unlikely title challenger, though? Like, usually you do enough to earn it, or you've been around long enough that they give you a shot.
Like, there's certain fighters. I'm going to try to put myself in Joseph's question asking shoes here. There's certain fighters you look at and you'd be like, yeah, I could see that dude fighting for the belt. And I don't think anyone really looked at Aiemann really at any point. Sure. And still now, like even, Jet on BTL, even though he's on a nice run and he had the win over Jose Aldo, like a lot of people are having a hard time getting on board, like truly believing in Aiemann Zahabi as like a true title contender. And perhaps he goes out there and beats the hell out of Chito Vera. That might help a little bit, but I never viewed Aiemann Zahabi as
never thought about
a top 10 guy, let alone a guy who's going to fight for a belt, but who knows?
Other guys like that. I mean, Mario Bautista for sure at some point, he would probably
be more unlikely than Aiemann Zahabi, honestly.
Yeah.
Like from where I viewed him. I always thought he was like a decent fighter, but
like,
wow, Mario Bautista is going to be in a pay-per-view, one of the most pivotal fights of the year for his division. With the win, gets him a legit title fight. He's going to fight Merab for the belt in 2026 if he wins. It's an interesting question.
Most unlikely title challenger.
And he's 37, which isn't great.
Yeah, there are guys like the first time you saw him.
That's a great shout. Anthony Smith.
Anthony Smith's a good one.
That's probably the correct answer. Actually, that is the correct answer. 100% is the correct answer.
That is a very good shout. That's a very, not just didn't have, Lauren Murphy, maybe. I don't think anyone thought she was going to fight for a title. Maybe when she dropped to flyweight. Yeah. Like she came in as a bantamweight.
I was probably, I think people looked at her at one point as someone who could maybe fight for a belt.
Yeah. Especially because she rattled off a few. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Jan Blachowicz. Did anyone think he was going to fight for the title?
No.
Over
Teixeira at the time for the second time he fought for the belt. Like Thiago Santos, good show from Jet.
When Jan, they just kept giving Jan middleweights. Like they gave him Thiago Santos, they gave him Jacare, they gave him Luke Rockhold, and they're like, these are the guys that people fight because you beat Jan, you can go fight for the title. And then Jan just kept knocking them out.
Yeah.
And then eventually just got a title fight. Tim Elliott won tough.
Yeah, I don't really count that one because it's a weird one. That's like saying Matt Serra or Travis Lutter. Although
it's a weird one. Sean Strickland is probably a good shout.
Strickland's a good one.
Like in hindsight, yeah, now he's a good fighter, right? But I don't think when he was beating Uriah Hall, did we think he was going to fight for the title?
Yeah, I mean they gave him chances. Like they put him in there with Pereira, which a win.
But that was more like we want Pereira to beat you so we can make it Pereira Izzy.
Yeah. But then Strickland went to that press conference at 276 and just roasted Adesanya the entire press conference.
True.
Jamal Hill, I don't think is really in that conversation because I think a lot of people were really, really high on him.
Yeah, especially when he won. Because let's not forget, because Jan and Magomed fought to a draw, and then Dana was so mad at the draw that he made Glover Jamal like right away.
Yep. Felicia Spencer. I don't think Megan Anderson. I'm not like, if you asked me about Megan Anderson like 2017,
well, she was an Invicta champion.
Yeah. If someone asked me in 2017, will Megan Anderson fight for a UFC belt? I would have said yes, without question.
100%.
One, because the division is so shallow. Two, she's like one of the few legit featherweights. And by the way, Megan Anderson's UFC debut was supposed to be a title fight against Chris Cyborg. And boy, that fight would not have gone well.
Masvidal, in hindsight, because like there was a time when he was kind of like right in the middle.
Yeah.
That's like the Nate, the Ben the Darren Till knockout is when he started to take off, right? But before then, it
was next, and that was
before that, it was like, oh, fight Ally King. It was like, I feel like there were a lot of people that won the Ultimate Fighter and then they fought.
Yeah,
Masvidal, like Rustam.
Moicano's interesting, but that's a weird situation, so I don't count that one. Khalil Roundtree's not a bad shout.
That's not bad.
But he also showed like signs in certain fights that he could be a guy that, like, if that's because there's always like, oh, if we get Thailand's Khalil, this guy could fight for a belt. But then
Khalil.
Yeah, if we get that dude, the next fight, like, he didn't show up. So we never knew.
I might date myself here. In hindsight, it makes sense, but I'm talking like in the moment. I would say RDA when he got his title shot. Rafael Dos Anjos.
Really?
Because he was like 0-2. He started like his career like 0-2 in the UFC.
Yeah.
And then he was like 3-3 for a while. He had his jaw broken by Jeremy Stevens. Remember, like Clay Guida broke his jaw or hurt him, and then he had that weird fight in San Jose against Gleison Tebow. So he was like, he might have been 4-4 or 5-4, and then all of a sudden he rattled off a bunch of wins in a row, and then lost to Habib. Because his coming out party, I think, was the Cerrone fight. Because even before then, like, he beat Evan Dunham, if I remember correctly, and then Cerrone got smashed by Habib, and then went and rattled off a bunch more wins. And then got the title shot against Pettis, who I think Pettis had too quick of a turnaround, because Pettis defended the belt in December, fought in March.
Yeah.
So I would say in the moment in time, I was pretty surprised RDA not only got the title, but fought all the way to a title shot, especially because Habib smashed him.
I see a lot of flyweights, which, I mean, he had to fight somebody at that
point. Like DJ was like Wilson Hayes. DJ had to fight somebody.
Yeah, right. I see a lot of John Moraga's. Chris Carriasso is a very popular one.
But John Moraga was knocking fools out at flyweight for a while.
Holly Holm, I'm not really surprised by that, even though she was like a little rough around the edges in green. The UFC brought her in and put the push behind her immediately. So they were setting her up to fight for a belt. So I wasn't really that surprised. So Kevin Lee getting an interim title shot after arguing with Tony on a post-fight show. Yeah, but I don't think anybody looked at Kevin Lee and was like, that dude will never fight for a belt. Like, when he first came in, everyone was like, that dude's the future of the sport.
100%.
In a lot of respects. Didn't age great, but, you know, when he first broke in, everyone was like, this fucking guy is going to be a problem.
The dude the Kevin Lee that fought Edson Barbosa was, dude, Steve Erceg is a great
that's a top fiver right there is Vinny Siggs.
Vinny Siggs, yeah.
Don't you? Oh, we're getting Macy Chiasson's questions, and it's not even Joseph Boza, so you know what that means.
Oh my gosh, we are.
Yeah, I think it's just flip the question. Somebody you thought would fight for a title but never did. Kevin Lee. Interim title, but
oh my God, who's the guy? Justin Scoggins, for sure. I thought that dude was like, I thought that dude was going to be a problem for DJ.
I actually thought, and I was following him before he even got into the UFC. I thought Jared Brooks would fight for a UFC belt at some point. He did end up fighting for the one title and won it, but I thought Jared Brooks had the skill, and I still to this day thought he beat Davis Figueiredo.
Oh, for sure. Justin Scoggins, that's a good shout. I'm trying to Luke Sanders. I thought was good.
Great shout, because I loved Tyson Griffin back in the day.
He was a bad dude. He was a bad dude.
Gamrot, Dariush Fiziev. I never.
Well, they could all get there. Like, they could still all get there.
Or Dariush are getting there. Fiziev, maybe. There's still some time there. Beer said Bektic, good call.
Great shout. I thought Luke Sanders in the regional scene, I thought was going to be something because the side I was running for, the MMA corner, was based in Denver. So I would have to work a lot of, like, Luke Sanders always fighting and I'd have to cover it and he would smoke fools. And then when he beat Henan Barrow, I was like, oh, this dude could be something.
Gregor Gillespie.
Who? That dude
Walker.
Disappeared.
Yeah, no shit, dude. Tom Duquesnoy. It's a great call. Right? That is a blast from the past right there.
He's like a ballerina or something now, right? Or a dancer.
I don't know what he's doing. Lorenz Larkin. Yeah.
He might have if he didn't jump over to Bellator.
Yeah. Did he only fight for the belt once? He only fought for the belt once over there, right?
Probably.
His first fight.
Yeah.
And then he turned down a bunch of title fights to go fight in Japan, which I respect that so much. I really, really do.
Brandon Thatch is a good shot. Someone said that. That is.
Oh, yeah. Zabit's an obvious one. Manuel Torres. Interesting.
Miguel Torres, maybe.
Miguel Torres. Yeah, that's what he meant. This is a great question. TJ Grant. Good shout.
I mean, he should have. That's such a tragedy.
How about weighing in podcast host? What's his name? Josh Thompson fought for a belt, didn't he?
Yep.
Did he fight for the UFC belt?
Was the fight again? No, he was supposed to fight Pettis
for the belt, right?
And then I think Pettis got hurt, and then Josh Thompson ended up fighting Benson in Chicago, and he lost.
Yeah, okay, that's right.
I think Josh head kicked Nate in San Jose, and then they were going to do Josh versus Pettis. Pettis got hurt, and then Benson stepped in, or something along those lines. I can't quite remember the exact.
That's right. Let's go.
That's
right. Let's go, dude.
That's right. I brought this up in yeah, that's a good one too.
I mean, when he first came to the UFC, we're like, all right, he's just got like 2 wins and he'll fight for the belt, and then he got 1 win and then never won again. I'm still so upset he didn't get on that Ultimate Fighter season when they brought the vets in.
Yeah, that should have made sense.
About that. We'll close with a super chat. Which UFC champion is most likely to lose their belt before the end of the year, in your opinion?
I mean, there are 2 big ones in New York.
I think it's going to kind of come down to those 2 fights, honestly.
Yeah, I'm trying to think because I think Tom beats Cyril.
Yeah, I don't.
Mackenzie and Verna is vacant, so there's no one that can lose. Islam
JDM, Zhang challenging Val.
There's absolutely a world, and I think a lot of people. It's not even out of the. It's not even like one of those like crazy scenarios. Like, I might even pick both champions to lose that fight, Weili and JDM. I mean, Valentina and JDM. Like, I
like Zhang's chances. I really do.
Me too. And I like Islam's chances.
Yeah, that's such a fascinating fight. The more I look at it, Islam looks like a fucking light heavyweight right now.
Like, look at JDM's team. He has
he's got the right dudes, no doubt about it.
Like, at some point, it's like when Cody Garbrandt beat Dominic Cruz. What's his name? Shoot, who was their coach? Justin Buchholz was the coach at the time. And basically he was like, I have prepped so many fighters for Dominic Cruz that like eventually I get it together.
Yeah.
And like you put it together and you do it. And like at some point, Craig is going to figure out Islam because he keeps coaching against the Dagestani guys. So I think that's an interesting one. And then I think Pantoja will beat Josh.
I do too.
And I think Marab will beat Purion.
Yeah. I'll say Valentina if I had to guess, but I mean, look, they're all good fights, man. I mean, there's Aspinall Ghanem I am very confident in, but you just never know. You just never know what's going to happen, especially when there's heavyweights. Another super chat we get. What do you think about the Brady versus Morales fight?
Not the fights I would have made for either gentleman, but sick fight.
Yeah. And Sean Brady was right. Like, I know he's done a lot of interviews and has basically said, like, even when I kind of brought up this fight, because I knew this was happening before the announcement, and it was just one of those things where it was just, yeah, man, you don't get, it's basically close. You can't sit on the couch and get a title fight. Like, you got to fight, especially when things are loaded up, and that's just where it's at right now. And it was either fight Michael Morales now or don't fight till 2026, and the title picture could look vastly different.
I probably would have done Bilal, Usman, Ian Gary, Sean Brady, and Morales versus Prates or MVP.
Well, MVP's probably middleweight now, right?
Yeah, but MVP wants to go. He wants to.
I know, but I think he's definitely got a better shot at fighting for a belt.
Give him a fight now. What are we waiting for with MVP?
That's what he wants to be active. I don't understand what we're waiting for.
MVP, for 12 years we talked about the dude only fights cans, and now he's down to fight literally anybody, and he's not getting a fight.
Now we got Nick Davis, man. Mackenzie Dern, Bryce Mitchell, Neil Magny, Derek Lewis, Kevin Holland, Dan Hooker. Do any of them make it into the UFC Hall of Fame?
Neil and Derek, I think Derek, 100% Derek will get in.
Yeah, he's got the most knockouts in UFC history.
I think Neil could get in.
I think Neil's wrapped it up. Like that win over Jake. I think he kind of wrapped it. I think he's in. He's like Dern, 4 wins away from the most ever.
That's true. Dern, if she gets the belt, probably.
Yeah, I think if you win a belt.
Well, maybe.
Yeah, she's close. Bryce, no.
Kevin's is interesting.
Kevin's probably gonna.
I also don't think Kevin cares.
Oh, he could. He doesn't care.
I don't think
Dan
might even
cares. Say no.
Dan
might just say no. I don't want to go to Vegas.
Yeah.
Dan will get in. I don't know if Dan gets in as a fighter.
Yeah, that's true.
But the Dustin Poirier fight's getting in, without question. That fight's getting in.
Dern could do it because, she's an ADCC champ.
Yeah,
and you get both of those. I think there's been 4 ADC champs that won UFC belts, or 3. It's Verdum, Mark Kerr, and I'm missing one of them.
No, I'm not gonna get it.
I'm not gonna get it. It's someone from the 90s. I know I'm missing one, but I can't remember.
I mean, look, if Dan Hooker somehow becomes the lightweight champion, he gets in. I think Dan Hooker, Paul Felder in the Hall of Fame, I wouldn't hate that either, but that's not going to go in before the Dustin Poirier fight.
Say what? Yeah.
The Paul Felder rocked.
There are some guys that I think should be in as individuals, but they'll get in as a fight. Like Jim Miller and Joe Lozon should be in the Hall of Fame on their own. But if you're going to be Daniel Cormier and just complain, oh, Jim Miller never won a title, all right, then put Jim Miller versus Joe Lozon the fight in. Because that fight the first one rules.
Fight. Joe Lozon is never in bad fights. That's, dude, shout out New England, baby.
I love
shout out New England.
I love both of those guys. 2 of my favorite interviews.
Yeah, Joe's great. He just tells like it is, and he's not afraid to say anything. He doesn't care about blowback or anything like that.
No,
shout out to Joe Lozon lost his retirement fight. I mean, to probably his retirement fight, Don Cerrone, because he hurt himself putting his socks on. I mean, that dude, what a legend, and just made it just had fun with it,
Yeah.
Where is the Hall of Fame located?
It's a staircase at the UFC Apex or the UFC PI. I've seen it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, Cubby Swanson.
Cub should. He's How many people are still fighting that were?
He's already in. Well, he's got a fight in there.
Oh, Duo Choi, yeah. How many people in the WC are still in the UFC now? 1?
Yeah.
Cub.
He's the last one, right?
Is he? Because Cruz retired and Aldo retired.
Who's that? Wasn't Ronnie Yaya was in WEC.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Is he still fighting?
Yeah.
Is Ronnie Yaya still fighting?
He's not officially retired. I know he's had a bunch of injuries because his fight against Cody Garbrandt was booked 8 times. So Ronnie Yaya's a good one.
All right, great topics today. I gotta say,
very good questions.
The chat brought it. Keep brainstorming. We got a Q&A tomorrow. I don't know how many UFC Vancouver.
Ronnie Yaya fought last year. What am I talking about?
All right, so we got a couple left. We're hanging on, and both guys. Cub is not officially retired either, so something to think about. Maybe Cub comes back for one more. It's got to be something that gets him off the couch. So, but that's gonna do it, everybody. That's great. What a great time it was. Last hour and 7 minutes. You guys brought some great questions, some great energy. Jed and I will be back here 3:30 Eastern tomorrow, and we'll answer some more questions. Post-fight show coming after as well. You lose my audio in my back, in my ear. Sometimes the music does stupid
Yeah, I'm like, it sounds like you're underwater. I'm like, it's probably my headphones, but just the music.
It's just the stupid program. We'll figure that out. And hopefully by tomorrow. So thank you very much. For Jose Youngs, I am Mike Heck. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll see you tomorrow.
See you in Abu Dhabi, y'all.
And then Jose will see you in Abu Dhabi.
Hopefully.